There was an idea
to bring together a group of remarkable people.
To see if we could become something more.
And become something more they did. I'm Charles Preston, and I'm that guy from high school. And this is my Infinity War movie review. Honestly, I had an amazing time with this movie. Not only did it feel as epic as you'd expect, but it went so much farther. Just seeing all the characters interact is just a thing of beauty. I feel like everybody brought their A game to this movie. It's the culmination of 10 plus years of Marvel cinema and probably the only project to date that is of this size. The only person I found a bit grating was Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. I guess it's to be expected with the Guardians of the Galaxy being the only Marvel franchise that hasn't interacted with the rest of the MCU up until this point, but they felt just a bit out of place amongst the Avengers and everybody else. I mean, I still liked them and enjoyed them, but they did feel just a bit mixed match. And spoiler warning, Teen Groot is not nearly as adorable as Baby Groot. But without spoiling anything, this movie is just great. It sets all the tones that you wanted it to set while still keeping the Marvel Cinematic Universe charm to it. It still got the quips, the funny lines, but it feels like a grand epic story. I don't have the same problem with it that I had with Thor Ragnarok, where I felt like there was too much emphasis on humor. This has just the right balance of humor and dire stakes that I was looking for. I really enjoyed Josh Brolin as Thanos. I mean, I've always been more of a dark side guy myself, but Brolin creates this really intimidating, almost charming version of Thanos. And honestly, there's so much more about this movie that I could praise. The planning, the effects, I already talked about the acting. It's just a great time. It's especially great if you're like me and grew up watching these movies. Honestly, back in 2007, 2008, I would have never imagined being able to see this on the big screen. To me, the especially standout performances would be Chris Evans as Captain America and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. These guys have been through almost all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the characters really show it. You feel like they're different from when they started, and you really feel the journey that they've been on, especially with Iron Man. He feels like he's like a tired war veteran almost. He has been doing almost everything he can to try and protect the world, and it feels like he's at his limits in this. The only real issues I had with the film was some minor pacing problems, but honestly, that's almost that's the best I can come up with in terms of negatives. I just really enjoyed this movie, if you couldn't already tell. For me, it's a 9 out of 10. Infinity War is marvelous. Pun completely intended. Also, I made a video where I reviewed every MCU movie in 10 words or less, so if you get a second, you should check it out. I've been Charles Preston, I'm that guy from high school, and I'll see you next time.